Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, Chris Paul. Hello, Huggy Lowdown. Hello, Coy Malone.
Hey, Sybil.
Social justice activist. How's everybody?
Great.
Pretty good.
Yeah, what's going on with you? What's happening?
What's happening with Huggy?
Well, people will understand that, I guess. We'll see him. But the question is to you, what's going on?
Well, it's been a very interesting and busy weekend. I actually got to visit family out in Los Angeles, and we did a ceremony for my aunt who just unfortunately passed away. And it was pretty interesting. We had like an ash ceremony where we scattered her ashes in the Pacific. And it was also interesting to travel now with COVID doing what it's doing.
Mm-hmm.
That was definitely on my mind the entire time while I was traveling. So something to definitely keep in mind because those middle seats are now open.
No, they're filled.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had that going to Chicago a few weeks ago as well.
Yeah, the airports are packed. Everything was packed.
But since the Delta variant, Sybil?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
The Delta.
You fly Delta, then you're shocked when you catch the variant. I caught the spirit.
I should have caught Spirit.
You don't want the Spirit variant, bro. And you think the Delta variant is.
That's the one that makes you fight.
I think, you know what, at any point now, Coy, I think they're all making us fight or watching the fights because it doesn't seem a week goes by that we don't hear of someone knocking somebody out or having some difficulty on the airline on any particular airplane. How about you guys? What's going on with you guys? How was your weekend?
Very peaceful, we're both in training. We've been working out, eating right, getting ready for this weekend in Greenville, South Carolina.
All right.
The comedy song. Well, we'll be there for 3 nights.
3 nights. The TJMS Comedy Reunion Tour.
Comedy reunion tour. Okay, we'll talk about that as we get closer through the show, as we move through the show. I do want to talk about what is topical. What is topical in our world? Because there's a lot going on, and not the least of which is some good news and some bad news. One thing that we've been talking about in the What You Need to Know newsletter is the just really disappointing actions of members of the House of Representatives as well as the White House to bring an end to extend the moratorium on the evictions. And so now there's a lot of finger pointing. There was some finger pointing because it ended and we were supposed to have the extension by the CDC. They extended it. Then the Supreme Court said, no, you can't. It has to go through the Congress. The president said he couldn't do it. And the Congress, they went home on vacation. And so now as millions of people.
It's so hard to do the right thing, Sybil.
That's a good question, Huggy. And I think if we had the answer, we might be in the House of Representatives or the White House at this point. But it seems as though they are incapable of just doing some common sense things. So now the White House and Nancy Pelosi has said the Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen will brief them about the distribution of rental assistance authorized by Congress. Okay, so we can't extend the moratorium right now, but we're going to find out ways for you all to get money that you should have been getting money anyway. So that this would not have been a problem.
The craziness is they didn't want to stay and work to keep people in their homes, and then they go home.
Right.
They're not. It's like we're not going to feed the hungry because we're going to dinner.
Right.
With no worries.
We're having Thanksgiving.
Right. We're on Thanksgiving dinner. We can't worry about whether or not people have food.
Somebody I heard was telling them, I want to commend the wonderful congresswomen who did spend the night on the steps of the Capitol to show what it's like to be. Cori Bush was one, Ayanna Pressley of Massachusetts, as well as Ilhan Omar was another.
Just get it right.
But they were saying that one of the members of Congress told them, I've got a date with my kids to go to Disney World. I can't stay. And so if that is true, what does that say about putting people over politics or vacations?
They don't.
They absolutely do not.
They the party over people.
Yeah. Exactly. And you can't say, somebody else will do it. It's on you.
Right.
That's the whole Ted Cruz to Cancun shit, Sybil. That's the
Yeah.
whole Ted Cruz
Yeah.
when his fucking state was freezing and going through what they was going through. He took and blamed it on his daughters. We're going to Cancun. It's the same shit. They don't give
Right.
a fuck.
That's crazy.
Really,
They really did.
sorry, pardon my language.
So in an emailed statement, excuse me, Nancy Pelosi said, "For the good of families on the verge of eviction, my Democratic House colleagues and I are hopeful this initiative to extend the moratorium will be successful as soon as possible." I'm sorry, Nancy. You have done too much and you know too much about how this business is done to allow this to happen. I don't know what happened between her and Maxine Waters, the Congresswoman from Los Angeles, but there was a big breakdown in communication and in their working together, and they just split up and went their own separate ways.
Democrats need to stop playing softball.
Yeah.
But ending these evictions, well, I mean, halting the evictions won't be enough, because you're not going to have it last forever.
Right.
And as soon as they're allowed to evict people again, everybody's going to be like 6 or 7 or 8 months behind in their rent. You got to find a way to wipe this out for some of these people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to get people back up. Get people back up to zero again and
Yeah.
start over.
A clean slate. A clean slate.
Right.
On that playing field.
Right.
And we're already asking the president, will you wipe out the $50,000 per person borrowing for student loans? Will you do this? Will you wipe out this? Will you wipe out that? And he's got his infrastructure bill, which they're putting a lot of weight on to have this happen and to go through while the Senate is still in session. There's a lot, but you've got to, you just can't say, I'm sorry. You cannot say that. And here's the other thing, Chris, as you mentioned, to stop it and to even it out for all of them is one thing, but it's another thing as we talk about the fact that they're only talking about extending the moratorium till October 18th.
Ain't enough time.
Yeah. So the other side of this is I want you all to look at to put your owner's hats on, your business person's hats, and for those who are watching and listening to us today, put on your hats about those people who own rental property and you're not getting your money. We don't, want to, and as our executive producer raises her hand, we don't want to exclude you, and that is the reality. But that is why the government, as well as so many of these states, have programs to help people pay their rent. Right. And that is one thing we talk about in the newsletter today. Sabrina Mason on Facebook says, in all fairness, most of the money should have gone to the landlord so that they are able to continue paying their mortgages and keep up with repairs. That's right. The tenants should all be notified that their landlords have received the money, so there's no lying to the tenant. That would be fair. You're absolutely right, Sabrina. But we're asking for fairness, and not everybody is fair. But we do have to ask for some sort of assembly line. And so, and one of these things that we do have is where people can go to get some help. And as long as they have shown the actions to try to get the money or to pay off their landlords before they end up in court, the judge will usually take umbrage in that and will allow them to continue in the state as long as in their homes, as long as they are able to show that they are working in good faith to make this happen. Charles, no? Okay. All right.
He just said hello. Hello from San Antonio. Hello.
Hello, San Antonio. And one of the other things I wanted to talk to you about is last week we did have the January 6th Select Commission. The committee started their first hearings, and we heard from 4 of the police officers, Capitol Hill, as well as DC police officers. Over 100 police officers from the Metropolitan PD and the Capitol Hill were injured defending the Capitol on January 6th. We saw those 4 who testified last week. Now there is a report this afternoon that a Washington, D.C. police officer who responded to the riots on January 6th has died by suicide. This is another person.
Shit.
Officer Gunther Hashida, assigned to the emergency response team within the Special Operations Division, found at his residence last Thursday. And he had been a longtime member of the Metropolitan Police Department since 2003. And of course, people are grieving the loss. And one can only imagine what this man heard and saw and went through on that day. But he is being lauded as a hero and someone who went out to save the Capitol. So we extend our condolences to his family, obviously, and hope that things will get better for so many of those people who are suffering.
I mean, you think of the mental anguish all of them are going through just based on the actual events of the day. But then you add on top of that what it does to them mentally to have so many in this country against them.
Right.
So many, like they all they did was try to protect the capital of the United States of America, and they are the enemy of certain Americans now.
But
that's horrible.
But then you got these Republicans minimizing what they did or what they stood for or what their job was to do. And they made a mockery out of it. You know?
Saving their lives.
And saving their lives, you know, by not with the insurrection committee. You know what I mean? Like they trying to whitewash the shit. You know what I mean? This shit is not right. It is not right. They done went from law and order. We went from law and order and police that. Now you got the media, the Tucker Carlsons, you know, making mockery of these police officers that put their lives on the line.
You have right-wing media smearing. What's the brother's name? The big police officer, the dude who was a flat-out hero.
Oh yeah.
I was going to say there's the father on Family Matters.
that's what he looks like. They got a whole smear campaign going on against this brother.
Oh, Winslow. I'm sorry.
It's ridiculous.
You know how he talked about what they said and what the other black police officers said to him, and how they were going to pull their guns on him. He had never been called the N-word in his while wearing a uniform. All of these things and the others who are still getting messages on their voicemails.
Remember on Insurrection Day when the video came out of that brother running, Black Twitter was having a field day clowning him. You know, they were because he was running
until they found out.
When you found out the truth, you're like, what?
But he had to do it like that because if it had went any other way, he wouldn't be here, bro.
That's right. And the senators.
These are people's lives at stake. Meanwhile, they're celebrating this woman that was with the insurrectionists as a hero because she got shot and killed.
Right. They're wearing bracelets with her name on it.
Yeah. That's how they're raising money. They're selling those bracelets.
Congress people are wearing bracelets with her name.
Wow.
Why are they still in office? That's another thing.
That's like
that's also
Taylor Green shit there.
Yeah, that's also why we are here to talk about every day about the fact that next year you have an opportunity to vote those people out if you don't like them. To vote them to vote for them to stay in or to vote against their opponent to kick them out. Every member of the United States House of Representatives is up for election next year. Every member of the House of Representatives, 1/3 of the members of the Senate are up for re-election. Keep that in mind. So primaries will be starting the top of next year, and then we will have the general election in November. So, and that's just the reality. And Tracy Scott, Yolanda Starks White said, "Please calm down, please."
So that to me.
No, Tracy was watching us.
Oh, I've been hearing this so much.
No. Oh, okay. All right, Tracy.
Oh, that's what she said. Oh, okay, Tracy.
2.0.
Okay, NWA remixing over there. Yeah.
I do also want to talk to you about another infuriating video that was from a couple of weeks ago. This happened behind the scenes at a Wendy's.
You need to change the name of this show. This show needs to be called Sybil Wilkes is Pissed Off.
That would be the underlying theme of
and
this.
we'll come on and be pissed off with you. Go ahead.
Okay.
Piss us off with this next story.
So here's the story of a young woman. You saw her video. She was a general manager in training. She says, young Black woman. She filmed her coworker, a white guy, who called her the B word, cussed her out, called her out of her name, and all of this. And she said, I'm going to send this to the manager. I'm going to send this to the manager. No, you're not. I can say whatever I want to. And so she sent it to the manager. And they put her on suspension. They put the Black woman who sent the video on suspension
she don't need to be
without pay.
Wow.
So there was so much controversy and so much response to this. People put it on their video, on their Instagram sites, and so much response to this. Wendy said, whoop, flip it. You're fired, young white man, and you're coming back with pay, and we're going to, talk to you about your future. But
They did the right thing. They did the right thing.
That's the same thing with Rachel Nichols, though, at ESPN.
Right.
The one they got rid of was the sister who shared the video.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Only they didn't come back and make it right at the end.
Right. They did not. And Maria got out of there in time too. But this young woman started a GoFundMe. And so she got thousands of dollars, she said, and because when she started, she said, they've sent me home with no money. And so I need to live. And then I'm thinking of what to do with my life. Maybe this is the time for me.
And he said it before. You could see his demeanor.
This was very
really verbally abusive.
The young woman's name is Sophia Cargill, and she says that she is the general manager in training. I recorded the assistant manager named Michael, but let's call him Kevin, shall we? Going on a tirade and called her the B and the effing lazy after this was in Kalamazoo.
He got the right sister. That's all I'm saying. He got the right sister.
Yeah.
Couldn't have been my sister. Couldn't have been Danielle. Oh my God.
Oh hell no.
And now she's got all this money from the GoFundMe. That's good. That's the lesson to all of your young viewers, Sybil, that snitching really does pay. Snitching pays.
She did what she's supposed to do.
Right.
She caught him at the right time because he said the shit before, bro.
Okay.
Right.
And I'm going to close this out.
You know what we need to do? We need to create a weave cam, Chris, to just have it in the back of the weave, and they can
just flip it just let it go.
Plus, they can watch video when you're back there getting busy on them.
You always got to bring the Pornhub aspect to the whole thing.
But going back to that GoFundMe real quick, this is such a horrible time in our country right now. So she made the money off GoFundMe, and she should have because she was wrongly fired. But now the racist hate monger who got fired could probably set up a GoFundMe, and fellow racist hate mongers will donate to them. How many times we see somebody who's a horrible person get fired from their job? Next thing you know, they come up.
On the come up.
I think about the two people who were standing in front of their house with the guns who became famous. As people were marching by. He's running for office. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's going to be a come up for him? Are you kidding me?
Yep. And that was quite a come up because he was already the wealthiest lawyer in town.
Right.
And so now,
because his house looked like, I thought it was a fucking museum.
Exactly.
But that should have been career ending.
Right.
Yeah.
But nope. Not in this America.
No. This is where the Trump followers, they get great jobs and they are able to run for office again and get all of that support. Yeah. So
look at the cow dude. What's the cow dude? The cow Rittenhouse.
Oh, right.
Oh, Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah, right. Kyle.
Yeah.
So many people
that was involved in killing two people in outside of, or actually in Wisconsin after the shooting of the young man by the police. Yeah. Let us just take a breather on this because we do want to talk about what's really going on. Let's move to what's really going on. And in that, that this was a long time in coming, but definitely the confirmation of Biz Marquis' death as well as his life celebration has gone on. And among the people that were there to celebrate his life, his widow did speak. And she talked about, Tara Davis talked about the people who were very kind in their condolences and the things that they sent. And she delivered her heartfelt remarks during the memorial and actually said that some of the condolences were very surprising to her, including the Obamas themselves, the president and the former first lady, writing a letter expressing their sorrow, talking about Biz Marquis's impact and his reach. Reverend Al Sharpton delivered the eulogy, and they said that just friends and families just sending out and speaking on his behalf with a major celebration of life. So my question to all of you here and those that are watching and listening to us today, because this is something we have to think about, unless you just want to leave the dirty work to your family. And Coy, this is something that you've had to go through recently, and we all have at some point or another. Let's talk about our funerals. Let's talk about our celebrations of lives for us individually. How do you want to be remembered, Chris Paul? How do you want to be remembered, Huggy? Coy, as a young, a very active young woman in a number of different disciplines, how do you want to be remembered?
That's a tough one because it's something that I've thought about recently. Like, I really don't want to think about that, but also don't want to.
And you're so young. Nobody wants to think about that when you're that young.
You don't. I want to be like 130 years old.
Okay, well, good luck with that.
When everything is like all said and done and everything is taken care of, and I could be an old woman and I've had lived my life and stuff like that. That's what I plan. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I have that control, but that's what I plan. But I don't know. It's so interesting. There's so many different ways that you could be memorialized and remembered. There's so many different ways to celebrate. Like, you have people in New Orleans that throw a parade for their loved ones.
The second line,
or you have like how my aunt just had an ash ceremony on the ocean, and my dad wants to have the same wishes fulfilled. So I haven't quite thought about the how, but I do want to be remembered as somebody who was happy, always smiling, laughing, and just full of joy and full of life. I hope everybody tells the stories right, because if they don't, when they come back and say, that didn't happen.
I don't want my ashes sprinkled, because my sister mess around and sprinkle them at Anacostia River so fucking weird.
You don't want the Anacostia River sprinkle. Okay, so let's talk about how you want to be remembered. How would you like to be remembered? I think I want to be remembered as just the guy that put a smile on everybody's face. With just happy thoughts. And the guy that the family members had memories of, like used to listen to the segment with their grandparents or their parents, and just those kind of memories. I remember a friend of mine had went to someone's service, and they had pictures. They was in a backyard. Everybody had a different picture of that person.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Right? And people got up and they shared stories. And every time you shared a story, it was like one more time. Like they did a shot, and before long, the whole fucking yard was blasted. But that's good shit, though. That's good shit. Yeah. I don't want to be mourned. I want to just just be remembered as that guy that
celebrate you for the delightful spirit that you are. Right. Absolutely. Chris Paul, what about you?
I don't know. I don't have much to think about as far as any kind of legacy or who remembers me for doing this or doing that. As long as I'd like to leave here knowing that the people who I have tried my best to love know that I love them. Like, and not just in my words.
Right.
That they could say, this dude really, my dad or my husband, whoever, he loved the hell out of me. And I hope that my next husband is just as loving.
Oh, he'll be at your service. Good dude. He was a good dude.
Maybe a line.
A joke by comedian Andy Evans. He said, every black man at his boy's funeral be like, man, that's a good brother. I'm gonna miss him. Is that his wife over there? Let me go express my condolences.
People do that too. You gotta watch them.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, when my dad died, he had a lot of buddies who were firemen and others in the business and stuff, and they had a great wake for my dad. And then a few years later, I was away for the summer, and a friend of my parents, the wife died, and it was a small ceremony and everything. It was really kind of sad. And she said, as she was leaving the gravesite, the widower, the woman who just died, her husband, asked my mother out. And she said, she had no words. She just dabbed at her eyes and she said, I can't. And then just left out. And he kept pursuing her. And I say, I've seen a lot of things. I've seen people, you
got to watch out for those bereavement, Max.
Man, come on. Your wife isn't even in the ground, huh? You want to see you dead. Who cares?
Hey, some people mourn in different ways, Sybil. Some people mourn in different ways.
We got brothers out here scoring repass ass.
Repass ass.
They're getting repass ass.
That's not a good combination.
You can fix me a pork chop with some string beans over there, baby. and why don't you write your number on one of them rolls?
But you gotta notice at the repass if the widow makes a plate for a brother.
Okay.
Who's his brother right there? Made him a full-blown plate.
A full plate. Right. Like you can't even see the plate. Like just holding
it's just food
in her hand, man. Like where's the plate? Like that. With all the fixings.
And people say, "Oh, who is this? Oh, this is next. I mean, this is Harold."
Right.
Dang.
and her husband died of poisoning.
Well, I'm also wondering for the people that are watching us, what you're thinking, and people that are listening. We'd love to hear from you. And Barbara Johnson says, write your own eulogy and no one can say anything at the end. That is the truth. That is the truth. There will be some changes probably, but there will also be.
They'll say some shit during testimony.
Yeah.
Last words of reflection. Oh, they would say some shit. I don't know who the hell they were talking about. But,
who was that?
Yeah,
Renee Woodridge on Facebook says, live your life like you want to be remembered. So Renee, I'm asking you to come back in. How is that? How are you living your life? How are you doing that? And how do you want to be remembered? And so asking you guys how you want to be remembered, but let's also talk about the service itself. Dr. K. Wood says the people who know and love me will remember me, and that's all that matters. Cremate me and listen to Prince for a day in my honor. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. If you had a dream celebration, who would you like to speak? Who would you like to, like, as I said, Reverend Al eulogized Biz Marquis. Who would you like to eulogize, you guys?
Well, first of all, I want my service to be held at Game 7 of the Washington Wizards NBA Finals.
Oh, nice. So
until that happens, I'm not dying.
Yeah.
So you plan on being 200, right?
You got that right.
I want to be cremated, and I want my boys to take my ashes to the strip club and just make my ashes just bring them up like that. And the strippers, be all dusted and shit. You know what I mean? Just the whole stage, and I'm just smiling.
And instead of them having the magic dust, you would be the magic
ashes
dust.
smiling.
When they hit the ground, when they
tell them to mix some glitter in there.
The hell you mix glitter with ash? Glitter? I hate glitter.
It'll show up.
All brothers hate glitter. No.
Now your ashes smell like stripper perfume.
Glitter.
You gotta smell that for all eternity, bro.
For all eternity.
Yeah, smell that perfume.
Be sneezing and shit.
Coy, how would you like your ceremony to go? Is there anybody in particular that you would love to speak on your behalf?
My grandkids.
all I know is people. When they ask the people to come get the plants and flowers, it's going to be 300 people standing up. They go like, where the fucking casket at? It's behind the plans.
It's just
Keep going. Keep going.
It's gonna be the first thing people want to get their hands on is these plants.
Where is it?
Well, Coy, I was really thinking of somebody who knows you right now, or somebody that you would like. I mean, you know, I think that one of the most beautiful eulogies I ever heard was at Tom Joyner's brother's funeral, and Roland Martin did the eulogy.
Yeah.
Did
he had two though, didn't he?
He did. Reverend Al spoke at one.
Right. I went to the one in Mississippi.
Jackson. And in was it Alabama?
I went to the Mississippi Mass Choir was the one I went to.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's Roland did a good job, huh? Because I'd imagine him up there for 30 minutes talking about Roland Martin.
Oh man. Like Albert gonna stand up like, God damn, nigga, it's all about you.
Well, there are those that will do that. In this case, he did speak beautifully about Al Joyner.
And they didn't mind the drone flying around the room or anything like that. Like,
this was pre-drone.
Okay. No, he had an ascot cam, Chris.
An ascot cam or just an ass cam? I'm not sure which.
Oh no, that's a whole different story. Ass cams.
I thought about that because Roland lost an aunt recently, and he spoke so beautifully about her. And
Roland can go now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I just okay. Renita Bland on Facebook said my ex had Kim and Frankie Beverly playing at the church during the viewing. That was a young funeral for sure. That's nice. I'm not Frankie Beverly. I mean,
that's what I would want. I don't want other songs.
That's not young.
That's
not young.
No.
I don't want that. I don't want all that. I don't want these sad hymnals. I don't want none of that. My playlist is on my phone, and you can access that. You know what I'm saying? Pick any song.
Is it under funeral playlist?
No.
Okay.
This is a general playlist that I have.
Trick that ain't on there.
Yes, he is.
He is.
On a song with Jaheim together.
I will be at your motherfucker.
Baby Stallion. Can't some of these shaking ass on my thigh. I want all that.
They go through the program like, God damn, where the good pictures at? Coy's in the casket, face down. What the hell is going on?
She straight up. Remember the old picture in like the Jet magazine of the guy who was in the car in his funeral
Maserati ring?
Yeah, right.
From,
okay. And there was one from Chicago. They
Chicago.
all had. Coy's gonna be in a split, just straight up, Like
oh my God! There's gonna be a lot of rigor mortis in that room. Yeah, man. That is a distraction for your ass right there, bro. DJ Quiet, he went his funeral in the backyard with a DJ.
So are you DJing your own funeral? Are you playing the music, DJ, and recording it? Or you want somebody else?
Sybil, now they're not even putting bodies in the casket. Now they're out of the casket. They're sitting. Have you seen this? They're sitting still this. One guy was on a motorcycle. Do you see this?
I saw the motorcycle.
Come on, bro. All somebody had to do is walk past somebody and say, "Ring!"
That would have sent everybody flying.
But you look at what the brother just said. The DJ, he wants it in the backyard with the DJ.
Right.
If that's going to be his plan, think of how financially easy that is for his family. Like that removes the burden of a $20,000 funeral.
Right.
From his family.
Yeah.
But who's gonna dig the hole in the backyard though, bro?
I'm not sure that he would stay in the backyard.
Oh, okay, I got it wrong. That's why my sister planned all that shit.
I think you have to be zoned for that. Like back in the day, you used to be able to put people like on your land.
When we buried my father, I had a blazer on him, but because I didn't think it was going to be an open cast, so he had on shorts.
Was it a short set?
He had a blazer on, but he had shorts. But I thought it was going to be just the top part. But they opened it like, why they put shorts on? You know what I mean?
Wrong for that.
Never seen a dead man with ashy kneecaps.
They're wrong for that.
Yeah. And that's what you get. Is that what you said?
Yeah, so I don't
That's terrible.
I know, it was bad.
All right, so that's what's really going on. And now it's time for What You Need to Know news. It is time for all of the things that we have in our newsletter. And a reminder to folks that if you would like to subscribe to the What You Need to Know newsletter, please go to SybilWilkes.com. It is absolutely free, the subscription, and it'll be in your email box every Monday through Friday morning, first thing. And amongst the things that we do in following in Tom Jordan's footsteps, we super serve the African American community with stories, with all of the different sections of the newsletter that appeal to the African American community. And Coy, today, let's talk about your particular story as our social justice person. This was an incredibly sad and yet it was different. It was even more infuriating for a different reason for me. And you tell the story about this police and the takedown of a young Black girl in Texas.
Oh, once again, here we go. Texas on the BS in an area of Kaufman County in Forney, Texas. I'm not sure where that's near.
It's not too far from Dallas.
Okay, so it's outside of Dallas. And a sheriff deputy named Connor Martin was responding to a 911 call. Eyewitnesses were saying this young Black woman was throwing herself out into traffic, and there was many reports of what they thought to be was a suicide attempt. Mm-hmm. So when this particular sheriff deputy responds to the call, he ends up pinning this young woman to the ground. Her family shows up really quickly and says, hey, she's not suicidal. She was just literally walking home is what's going on. So the officer doesn't listen to them, doesn't listen to the mom and the younger sister who is recording the whole ordeal. The mom reaches out, grabs her hand, tries to get her to calm down. The young lady starts foaming at the mouth. Mm-hmm. The officer puts his full weight on top of this young lady. He is mounting her.
She's on her back. He is face down on her.
Like a UFC fighter. Like a UFC fighter.
Yeah.
Like he's finna ride a bull.
And like he's about to mount her. He mounted her.
He did mount her.
Right. So they put her in handcuffs and they're like, is this what you would do in this type of situation? She can't breathe. They're saying that it's over 100 degrees outside. It's very hot. She's foaming at the mouth. Like, we're trying to help her and make sure that she's okay. So during that arrest, the mom in the video is walking with the daughter. Mm-hmm. The officer lunges at the mom and says, don't touch me. She's literally trying to touch her daughter's hand and say it's going to be okay.
She's trying to calm my daughter down.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
The officer lunges at her, tussles with her, arrests the mom as well. Another officer comes out, draws his taser and tells everybody to back up. So that's pretty much where the video ends. And it's frustrating because we've seen far too many examples, especially with Black people, that were either suspected of going through a mental health crisis or going through a mental health crisis. And it either ended up with them being harmed very badly or they were killed because of the tactics that police use. So the question is, after all these things that have happened, can we get something else, a different type of tactic when somebody is suspected to having this type of crisis? Because it's ending up bad every time.
And the horrible part about the officer doesn't look like he's much older than this young girl. He looks like a kid himself.
And he didn't give a fuck. That's learned behavior. And we don't have the liberty of being human beings.
Right.
Right.
And he was so
you watch that video, it's hard to believe that this officer had any training whatsoever.
Right. It's like he learned from YouTube.
Right.
And the police department said that is a part of the tactics that they teach them. That's a part of their training.
They said that this is a tactic that is used that prevents them from obstructing someone's airways. Mm-hmm. This is a department tactic.
Well, let's come up with a new word. It's a black tick.
Yeah, I would like them to show us proof that they have used this tactic before on other people.
Right.
Oh, I think when they get to court, they're going to have to prove this.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
The young girl was 18. The cop didn't look like he was much older, and there was just it just broke my heart because at one point
it was horrific to watch. Right.
The video showed her foaming at the mouth. And of course, the mom wanted to see her. And as a mom, as your maternal, as a mom, just to try to calm her daughter down. I mean, yes,
we had so many examples that just went the other way. Like, I'm trying to save my daughter's life by all means. You know,
right.
This shit, man.
Yeah, at the point where I saw even the officer coming out with the taser, to me, in my mind, it's. I guess I'm finna take a taser from my mom.
Wasn't it a black officer? Wasn't it a black officer?
There was one. There was one.
But what I can appreciate about him, even though this whole thing was bad, when he came to separate everyone, when the commotion started with the officer and the mom, he came out and he was shaking his finger because he knew, listen, I don't want to hurt anybody out here. He even picked up a flashlight that fell off of the belt from the other officer. But then it was the white one that came out with the taser, like immediately.
But when are other officers going to check their colleagues?
Right.
Like, hey, buddy, this is not right.
Yeah.
It's like everybody is in unison. It's like everybody. It's just that's what it is. It's not. You're not going to break code. We're not going to do the right thing. We're going to do the fraternal thing.
Right.
We're going to do that thing.
Right. Coy, wasn't there a case in Atlanta that we just talked about last week where one of the cops who did something wrong to a citizen and the other did not try to stop him, and so
didn't do anything, just sat there and watched.
Yeah.
This cop kicked this woman in the face.
Right.
Because she, I guess, tried to spit at him, and it's just a matter of control your emotions. Mind you, there's another situation that I will more than likely be writing about this coming week. Another police incident of using excessive force in Atlanta, north of Atlanta, and during a mental health crisis in front of another family that was helpless during the situation. We see this far too much.
And back in the day, you guys, this case was just settled not too long ago. The black woman who's a cop in Buffalo who tried to stop her partner from choking someone, and she just got justice. Right. Just got it right. After years and years, after being fired, not getting her pension, not making, and so now, people are just so caught up. They don't want to, be kept on the outside of the whole fraternal thing, as you say, Huggy, because you don't want your partners to come after you.
And just imagine a black officer would have did something different. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a black man. That mom could be my wife.
Right.
That could be my daughter.
Right.
So if he'd have just reacted,
right,
he probably was thinking about his fucking job.
Yeah. Yeah.
His job.
And that's the sad reality.
That is sad.
That is the sad reality. And because, it just goes back to how you want to be remembered. I want to be remembered as somebody who helped people.
Right.
And so, that's what we're born. I think that we're born to do is to help and serve.
Just like the legacy of the black officer at the January 6th insurrection. How would he be remembered?
Yeah, exactly.
As a hero.
Exactly. Yeah.
Then you got the school officer. Where was it? Sandy Hook, where they were shooting. He heard them shooting in the school, and he stood outside the school. Did absolutely nothing.
That was Florida. It was Florida for the high school there. Thank you, Janice Eastman. It was Carol Horn in Buffalo. Was the black female cop,
and she's getting her flowers now.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But her soul is right. Her morals just, and she can live with that.
Yeah,
she did the right thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Tyrone said, these cops are still going to do whatever they want until they get prison time for their action.
That's
Tyrone Bourne on Facebook said that, and that is another sad reality.
Yeah.
And as long as we're always charged with obstruction of justice and, hitting an officer for simply trying to separate them from the person, separate them from choking somebody, separate them from tasing somebody, we're going to get charged too. There's just no way to win in those situations.
And then they get reassigned.
Right.
You got to cut them all the way off. You can't be in law enforcement whatsoever.
Right.
You can't just move to another city and be a cop again.
Another county.
That's a part of the policing bill that, you know, that this follows them, that they don't get an opportunity to lie and get another job in the business. I see our friend Tracy Scott has calmed down a little bit, and she is talking about taking away their pension.
Tracy Scott is about that life. I'm just going to put that out there.
Tracy Scott going to be remembered.
You don't know how true you are. You don't know how on the nose you are.
Tracy Scott is about that life.
That's right. That's right.
She want all the smoke, Chris. Go to one of her barbecues, Chris. She want all the smoke, Chris.
And she wants all the Karens to go down, too. I just want you to know. Evelyn Gatlin, we need to stop calling the police when a Black person is having a mental breakdown. Maybe we should try to calm the situation. Ooh, that's a dangerous thing, too. That's... As much as I would like to say that, you know, I
seem like she's been watching too much of the shots, Sybil. Too much of the shots.
The self-policing.
She want Otis Perry method to go in the Mayor Perry.
Yeah, you know what? And they had a sticky situation too. You really have to be trained and understand that people going through those things, you can't corner them. You can't become impatient with them. You can't become angry, volatile, or anything like that. You literally have to kind of give them their space. And then sometimes it helps for them to see and talk to someone that they don't know in those kind of emergency situations.
Maybe they need to have a mental expert in every police force to ride.
What about the negotiators? The negotiators talk to these people on a regular basis.
Mental negotiators
usually have, yes.
But yeah, and I'm not sure how well equipped the negotiators are, Coy, but as Huggy says, have a mental professional there.
Right.
Do you remember?
Get Kim Kardashian to come. She's had practice.
She's had practice with some mental issues, in her own home. Do you remember not too long ago, there was a video of a woman she was like in the middle of the street and the cops were surrounding her, and another Black woman came and sat down next to her, and she really diffused the situation. Because she said she was a mental health professional. She had been dealing with this before. This was one of those instances that you would like to see people be able to do that in their own lives. We're not capable of it though, Coy. We're not. It was.
They're not capable with people of color. With people of because mental issues is beyond color.
Yeah.
But we don't have the liberty, or they don't have time with us.
Yeah.
They don't have time with us.
And this woman, she was able to keep the police at bay. She was able to surround this woman with love and understanding, and the conversation that she needed to hear in order to diffuse the situation. It was really a masterclass for many people to see this.
But the question is, do these police departments around the country believe they need any help? They don't. They just see someone who's having mental problems as just another perp out there on the street.
Easier to
Right.
Easier to apprehend. Easier to take my frustrations of the day out on.
Yep. Absolutely.
Sad.
We have one more person talking to us. Okay, let's see. Oh, Nikeo Tim. Walter Wallace in Philadelphia, his mother tried. Yeah, that's true. That was not too long ago, too.
Right.
His mother tried to calm her son down to no avail, and the police killed him. And they knew about him.
Right.
They knew his situation. And this was, the mother was trying to come between them, and the police killed him. Absolutely right.
A person of color.
One other thing I do want to talk about that's in the What You Need to Know newsletter, and this is on a lighter note. We've been trying to. This has been a work of love for me.
Well, now you know what, Chris? Sybil, I'm gonna make a statement. I think me and Chris need to switch our days to Wednesday, because every Monday we come on is too tough.
It's you know what?
You want to switch to Wednesday, Chris?
It's every day.
Oh yeah, it is every day.
Which is
I guess you diffused that shit, Sybil.
Diffuse it, like we'd like the police to be able to do. One of the things that I've done over the last couple of weeks is we've had salutes to the Olympians and Black men and women.
Have anybody been watching the Olympics? Have you, Chris?
A little bit.
I started watching some of it.
Just me.
Just you.
Today, we talk about this young man out of Queens, New York, and his name is Curtis McDowell, and he's a fencer. That doesn't mean he takes products and then is able to sell them to somebody else.
I know what fencing is, Sybil. Why are you looking at me?
Culture.
My father was a fencer. I know what the hell that means.
He's a 25-year-old man and has worked long and hard to find his place. And they did not medal. As a matter of fact, they finished last Friday.
Wow.
But it's really great. And he's very, very encouraging to young Black people to get into those sports where you don't see many of us, but go ahead and to try something different. And that's what happened with his mom in introducing him to fencing. And he's a part of the épée, which is there's 3 different types of fencing. And so that's in the story. So please take a look at these people. Tomorrow we talk about Raven Saunders, who's a young woman, the shot putter. I don't know if you all saw her. She came in 2nd place.
And there's another gold medal we got to shout out today. Gold medal won by rapper DaBaby in the 500-meter backtrack.
The backtrack.
That is in our entertainment segment. It is time for us to take a look at entertainment, and DaBaby is one of those topics of conversation. I think he's going for the trio, the triumvirate right now. He kicked off of the Lollapalooza schedule this past weekend because of all his homophobic.
He was a headliner.
Yeah, he was a headliner. Yeah. He got kicked off of that, and some other concerts that are coming up, they've also kicked him out. And I just wanted to get your opinion on that because he
kept doubling down on social media. Mm-hmm. He kept doubling down, and then today,
the more he doubled down, the deeper he went, though.
Right. And then today he released an official statement, obviously written by a ghostwriter. This is nothing like anything.
A rapper got somebody to write ghostwrite. Go ahead.
Nothing like anything he's been saying on social media. He did the old, I need to be educated. Instead of attacking me on social media, I need to be educated in these things. Are you kidding me? You need to be educated to know that what you said is wrong. Mm-hmm. And then when they tell you it's wrong, you're going to double and triple down on it.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah. So he's paying the price for that, getting kicked off of these shows and everything. And I do want to just mention one more thing in entertainment, and that is welcome back to Simone Biles. She is going to participate in one of she's going to be on the balance beam, and that will be happening. As we know, she's had a difficult time at the Olympics, and so but it's just me. But I would prefer that she didn't. I would prefer that she, just got her head right and let it be. And I really hope that her head is in the right place. Right. That she doesn't get
mental clarity,
Yeah. So many people attacking her too. Like even the tennis player,
right?
The white dude, the male tennis player, who made a statement about Simone Biles saying pressure is a privilege.
Yeah.
That we have to embrace these things, and basically
for you.
Basically called that out. But then 2 days later, he completely melted down.
He melted down.
Threw his racket and then quit the Olympics.
Yeah.
He quit. He had another event in the doubles. He just completely quit.
He's out of there. He's out of there.
What has happened to human beings where the whole concept of people are going through some shit right now is foreign? Right. We all have gone through some shit or are going through some shit. So I don't care.
They don't have the luxury of going through shit, bro. Right. They putting this in the limelight and have this platform like they're not fucking human. You know what I mean?
But I see Simone Biles and I see Naomi Osaka, and I think to myself, I thought about all the people out there who go through shit, who just aren't as blessed in their lives financially as these ladies are, or anybody else. They still have to go to work every day.
Let's move this to the wrap up, because this, as we do wrap up the show, and we can talk about this, and I do want to talk more about this next Monday if you guys will come back. I hope that you will. But I do want to talk about this more because it is something that we do need to keep encouraging, especially our young people, a lot of these young people. But where can people see you guys? Where are you going to be?
Oh, we're going to South Carolina because our black man is determined. Any place where COVID is spiking, we're going.
Because he give a fuck about us.
We're going to be in Greenville, South Carolina at the beautiful Comedy Zone. Get your tickets at greenvillecomedyzone.com before it sells out.
That's right. Meanwhile, I had to take a COVID test to go eat crabs yesterday.
Shut up.
That's a whole different tax bracket, Chris. I'll tell you about that later.
No. Oh my God.
You see that C, right? You see that C?
Uh-huh.
Oh, you with Donnell?
Yeah, Donnell had left. Chappelle and them had a crab feast yesterday.
Donnell Rawlings.
Oh, yeah, I saw it.
You had to take a quick COVID test.
So when I asked you what you did this weekend,
I know, so I ain't want to get into it. I just remembered. I had so much motherfucking fun yesterday. Talib Kweli was at the Kennedy Center. Oh my! I'll tell you about it next Monday. That shit was.
Please come back and tell us what happened.
It was beautiful, Chris. And Sybil.
Another event I'm not invited to. You see that, Sybil?
I see.
You see how we done?
You way out there, Chris. You ain't coming in town, Chris.
I'm not coming in town to have crabs with Dave Chappelle.
I was gonna let you speak at my funeral, bro. I don't want you to speak at my funeral, man.
You better not.
All right, gentlemen. Today it is time for, you know what it's time for.
Yogi Juice.
And I think this is apropos for all of us. As we've talked today and we've shown.
What's the word, Sybil?
Yogi's Jewels today. Don't get older, grow up.
She wrote that shit for me. I'm tired of you doing that
shit, Yogi. Don't get older, grow the.
Who told somebody send that in?
I'm sorry. Don't just get older. I was corrected. Don't just get older, grow the up. Is what it says. It says that right there. Okay.
Who texted that shit? I know who texted that. I'm about to call it right now.
Yogi, would you tell
I'm about to call my doctor right now.
No, Danielle, that's your brother.
Huh?
So you need to get residuals off these Yogi's Jewels.
I know, shit. She's looking at old texts and shit.
It's time for us to say goodbye. I appreciate you. We will talk to you next time.
Greenville, South Carolina.
Friday through Sunday.
Friday through Sunday, y'all.
Get there. Get your tickets now. I will see you all later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.